Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Arizona Wildlife Views. I'm Brisa Daniel, Personnel Analyst with the Arizona Game and Fish Department, and today on Arizona Wildlife Views, a look at what's special about the Arizona Game and Fish Outdoor Expo. Plus, we'll show you what happens to all those illegal things the department takes from poachers. And later, we'll introduce you to some folks who actually like being stuck between a rock and a hard place. We've got all this and more starting right now on Arizona Wildlife Views.
Arizona Wildlife Views is brought to you by the sale of hunting and fishing licenses and the Heritage Fund, lottery dollars working for wildlife. Some projects made possible by the Sport Fish and Wildlife Restoration Fund.
Every last weekend in March, here at the Ben Avery Shooting Range, the Arizona Game and Fish Department puts on its annual Outdoor Expo. It's designed for families to get out and enjoy everything from fishing to shooting to archery to wildlife. Let's take a look.
Wow, there's a lot of you.
Welcome to the Arizona Game and Fish Department's Expo.
Would you like a map?
This year we have an amazing tent. It's actually called Amazing Wildlife. And inside the Amazing Wildlife tent, you can see the rattlesnake arena. You can see the prairie dog corral. We have a desert tortoise adoption program.
Well, I've just been talking to people all day about how we have an adoption program for our desert tortoises, captive desert tortoises. It is illegal to have one just taken out of the wild, but we have tons in captivity that are still looking for homes.
We have a collection of animal skins and skulls that you can come and touch and feel and get to talk to biologists about what those animals do here in Arizona and how you can protect them. The Amazing Wildlife Tent is by far the most popular exhibit at the Arizona Game and Fish Expo. By far. The children love it. Even the big kids love this tent. Here's an opportunity for free to see Arizona's wildlife up close.
One of the most interesting things takes place in the Wildlife Assets tent. Let's take a look.
There are all kinds of tents to peruse at the annual Arizona Game and Fish Outdoor Expo. But there's only one tent where you can find and bid on roadkill to hang on your walls at home.
Our agency comes across this, our field officers come across this stuff all year long, collect it, and then we do an annual sale.
It's the Arizona Game and Fish Wildlife Assets Auction, and those in the know flock to it in search of some home decorating treasures.
This is for our Arizona house, and that's why we came today, was for the drops.
To the uninitiated, the tent would seem to be a little shop of ready-made horrors. Javelinas bearing teeth can be a little jarring at first, but then you quickly figure out what this auction is all about.
All of our wildlife assets comes to us from all over the place. Some of it is from a result of a law enforcement seizure, a case or something that we worked, and we seized the stuff as contraband. Some of it comes to us as a donation. Some of it comes to us from like roadkill animals, or even like wounding loss during hunts, natural mortality, you know, elk and deer, they get struck by lightning sometimes, and our officers encounter this stuff throughout the year, and they collect it, and then we do this annual asset sale.
Elk is always the big seller. We have some just marvelous elk racks this year. We have big racks every year. big elk racks, big elk heads. We have a lot of deer too, that's very popular.
For first-timers looking for something unique for their homes, the Wildlife Assets Auction is a great find.
I love putting it all over the house. If you ever come over, you would see sheds everywhere. I put a lot of the racks up on the walls, and for me, it's decorative. A lot of people spend money on furniture. I spend my money on antlers and what have you.
And we have some items that are priced outright with just a price tag on them. The public can come in and just buy them, or we have our more significant items are on a silent auction. We'll usually put the items on bid for a couple, 2 or 3 hours. People can come in, they register with us, they get a bidder number, and they can just follow the bids on the sheet of paper right in front of the item, and they can write bids down as the time limit goes on. Some of the more significant pieces, we may put it on bid all day long.
So what do people bid on?
It's more like, what haven't I bid on? But just recently bid on the big bull elk, was able to be the high bidder on him, and a few more bids on desert bighorn sheep, mule deer, and eyeballing a couple bear hides.
There's also sometimes the rare and exotic finds.
We had some real exotic wildlife donated to us, like polar bears, moose, stuff that we don't find naturally in Arizona.
Not only will you find some great treasures, but everything you purchase at the Wildlife Assets Auction goes to a very good cause.
The funds for the wildlife asset sale go right back into the Game and Fish Department's law enforcement patrol effort. So we use the funds to purchase things like batteries for our flashlights or whatever, voice recorders, cameras, that sort of police equipment, so that we can go out and catch the poachers and the bad guys that are abusing our wildlife resource. And we have a very strong anti-poaching message here with this whole sale, because some of the stuff was as a result of a law enforcement seizure.
Good morning, everybody.
So this is the introduction to 22s.
How are you, pal? You ready to shoot?
A great introduction to anyone who's looking to get into shooting. It's safe, it's fun.
All right, so this is just how we're going to be when we shoot.
Got it.
You feel comfortable? Mm-hmm. Okay, you ready to try it?
Yeah.
Right. Our wildlife officers go through years of training. They're the best to have right next to you, teaching you how to handle the gun, how to operate the gun.
It'll load a bullet.
And you're going to go through a little safety briefing.
So here are the primary rules of firearm safety. This is what I was taught in Police Academy. This is what we teach everybody. So we always do TAP +1. Can we all say TAP +1? TAP +1. Perfect. So we have T. Treat every firearm as if it were loaded. A. Always keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. We have B. Be sure of your target and beyond. So you always want to make sure you're aiming directly at what you want to shoot and that there's nothing back there that you could hurt. And then +1 is keep your finger outside the trigger guard until ready to shoot. And this is a big one that a lot of new time shooters have a hard time with. You want to keep that finger straight outside of the trigger and only put it in right when you're ready to shoot, okay? So remember the +1. +1.
How you doing?
We've got some kids and some adults coming up, and we're going to teach them how to shoot.
So right here is our safety, okay? So we're going to put the bullets in.
So there's one.
Show them how to load the magazine. We'll show them how to insert the magazine. We'll show them how to cycle the action, and then they'll start to shoot, and they have an awesome time doing it.
Good shot. Good shot. Yeah. Do it again. Nice work. Good job. Good shooting.
And it's less about being able to hit the bullseye every single time and more about getting kind of used to shooting a rifle.
Do you see that one? That's about as good as it gets, buddy.
Great!
You did it! Yay. High five! Congratulations.
I think I did good, which I wasn't expecting to, so that's cool.
Fill this top sheet out for me first before you go back there and sign the back.
This year at the Arizona Game and Fish Department's Outdoor Expo, a unique opportunity was made available for adult hunters looking to complete the Arizona Hunter Education Program's field test requirement to earn a bonus point. What's a bonus point? A bonus point gives a hunter an additional chance to get drawn when they put in for a big game hunting tag where applications are chosen at random. The more bonus points you have, the better your chances are.
So with the bonus point field test that we're doing today, our students needed to complete our online course, and they're coming out here, and in about an hour, they run through our practical exam where they're tested on their firearm handling skills and shooting, matching ammunition and firearms correctly, as well as practical hunting scenarios. Then they also take a final written exam. It's been very popular to have here. We started posting opportunities for this about 3 weeks ago, and they filled within days.
You can do this turkey hunt, or you can do that turkey hunt.
Well, in our hunting scenarios, we've got some different opportunities for them to look at. We've got 3D targets set up to simulate actual hunting environments. We give them a situation such as it's turkey season and you have a turkey tag in this area. We've got a target set up and we ask them, would this be a legal shot? Would it be an ethical shot that you would take? And then they're graded on their response to that. So some of the situations that we put forward are whether or not there might be any other hunters in the area, represented by some hunter orange, if there's any roads that they need to be concerned with, or if the animal is actually in season. So the other practical tests that they take involve live fire, where they're graded on their firearms handling as well as the shooting positions, prone, sitting, and kneeling. We try not to shoot from the offhand position as that is the least stable and the least likely to get you that quick, clean, ethical kill. They're also graded on whether or not they can properly identify firearms based on their action type, their gauge or caliber, and if they can properly match the right ammunition to that firearm. So our hunter education classes test on a variety of subject matters, all the way from conservation, responsibility, safety, and ethics. The bonus point field test is something special that we have done. A few years ago, we noticed that a lot of our classes were being occupied by individuals that just wanted the bonus point. So we created this field test version as a way for them to complete the hunter education requirements, freeing seats in our classes for our younger and new shooters and hunters. We decided to do it this weekend at the Outdoor Expo to provide an additional opportunity for individuals across Arizona and from other states to come in, complete their hunter education certificate, as well as see all the great opportunities that Arizona and Game & Fish has to offer in Arizona. So we don't only offer this bonus point field test here at the Outdoor Expo, it's also offered throughout the year at a lot of our other ranges. We offer them down in Sierra Vista, in Tucson, up in Kingman, and of course here at Ben Avery. All of the information to register for a bonus point field test or a regular hunter education course can be found on our website at www.azgfd.gov/huntered.
Billionaire businessman Malcolm Forbes once said that the difference between men and boys is the price of their toys.
We just bought a little CJ5 just for going out and exploring in the desert. And one thing after another, and it's turned into this.
As you might have guessed by now, John Patrick doesn't play golf. I guess you could actually say he'd much rather be stuck between a rock and, well, a hard place.
Getting stuck. There's always getting stuck. First of all, I'm not crazy about mud, so you don't see me in the mud too much. That's nothing but getting stuck. But with the rocks, it's different. It's more precise. It's more... you know, it's about being in the right spot, the right place with your tires, using your gears, and it's a game. It really is a game, and sometimes you don't win the game.
Rebecca Antell with the Arizona State Association of Four-Wheel Drive Clubs understands exactly the game that John is talking about.
It's a lot of fun to go out there in different places, man versus element, man versus vehicle. And it's a lot of fun. I love being out with the people, and it's just a new challenge to try to do something different.
If you're looking for a little adventure on four very high wheels, Rebecca and John both say you're in the right place and that this would definitely be your ticket to ride.
It's how capable your vehicle is, and if you get it stuck and you get it unstuck, kind of like that right there. Each of these clubs are in different areas of the state. So if you're looking for a club to join, this would be a good group to get with.
It's all by accident. I had no idea about four-wheeling and rock crawling and stuff like that until we moved to Arizona. We go out of state a little bit. We go to King of the Hammers. We go up to Moab. Johnson Valley and all that, but mostly Arizona. It's a great playground for off-roading.
It's a family. We're responsible recreation. You just want to learn. You don't have to really have a lot of knowledge of four-wheeling. We'll help you out here. You go with clubs, and they help you learn how to do what these guys are doing out here.
And you don't truly see the beauty of the desert until you get off the road and go in the back and explore.
There's a simple truth in nature. Where there's water, there's wildlife. But sometimes wildlife has a hard time finding water, especially during drought and almost always in the desert.
You know, this is the Sonora Desert, and you know, it's hot and dry, really hot and dry during the summer.
Here's another simple truth. Where water's running out, the Arizona Game and Fish Department is often digging in.
Well, we're in the beginning stages of a wildlife water development.
Mark Freeberg is the wildlife manager for this swath of Sonoran Desert about 50 miles southwest of Tucson.
We're in Game Management Unit 36C. It goes all the way from 3 Points to the border, boundaried by 286, Highway 286 on the east and the Babakivri Mountains on the west.
It's mule deer country, but when Freeberg surveyed the area, he didn't find much water for deer to drink. That's why he requested this project.
What it is a rain catchment. Some of the units, they have, you know, anywhere from 6 to 10. Even in the Yuma region, I think they have over 100 wildlife catchments in them. And this unit actually has one. This will be the second one.
6 1/4.
That just kind of speaks for the need of water in the unit. So it is about time.
The folks doing the work are from the development branch of Arizona Game and Fish. Today, they're getting some help from the Arizona chapter of the Safari Club and the Santa Rita Landscaping Company.
We're basically providing some of the equipment service and the operators to dig the holes for the tanks and prep the site. I'm a user of wildlife, I'm a watcher of wildlife, and so to be able to give back to wildlife is a great thing.
Put in this water catchment. That's our main goal.
Toby McMillan is the field crew supervisor and a new kid on the block.
See, right there is 9-6. It's my first one.
But his crew has more than 60 years of experience.
Almost 10 years.
Just about 20 years.
34 years.
They almost work like a machine, you know, from one step to the next. So, you know, I get to learn a little bit from them about how this all goes together.
Arizona Game and Fish has been building water developments for wildlife since 1946.
Yeah, in the 50s they started off, they were mainly cement vaults. They worked very well, but they didn't have the capacity.
One of the biggest vaults is only 2,500 gallons. They would go dry and we were hauling water to them every year.
The department currently maintains about 1,000 catchments all across the state.
We had a fiberglass system, which was fiberglass ring tanks, and this is the latest and greatest design now is polyethylene tanks.
The latest water catchments are designed to be low maintenance and to last about 50 years. But the biggest improvement is capacity.
With this system, like we have 4 2,500 gallon tanks, that's 10,000 gallons.
If they fill up, they will last a long time. We leave on Tuesday, we load everything up on trailers, get all the equipment out here, all of our supplies, and we'll set tanks and we'll set the drinker. We spend 8 days out here, 10-hour days. You gotta love the camp. It's a job for an outdoorsman, for sure. I love working for wildlife. I love doing what I'm doing for the wildlife. I love being out in the field. I mean, I just love being camped out, working outside.
This, you know, I get to live and work in the woods, you know. This is my office, and that's what I prefer. Yeah, if you're an outdoorsman, this is a great, great job.
The development crew connects the 4 2,500-gallon tanks to the drinker with 3-inch PVC pipe. The project will cost about $43,000. About half of the cost is covered by revenue from special hunting tags that are sold at auction. $10,000 was donated by the Freeport-McMoran Mining Company. The rest comes from a federal excise tax on the sale of guns and ammo. A metal apron that will collect rainwater is installed above the tanks.
We put a fence around it, usually 150 by 150 steel rail fence. It's a wildlife-friendly fence, and keep burros and cattle out.
Our job is basically wildlife habitat improvement. I mean, in Arizona, the thing lacking is water.
The Bighorn Sheep Society has a saying, "Sin agua mortis," without water, death. And it's so true, especially in this state. And so it's really satisfying to get done with a project and know that there's a reliable source of water for the animals.
We got an apron that collects the rainwater, that's covering the tanks, that protects the tanks in a way too. So the rain falls on the apron, it goes down in the gutter, goes through pipelines into the tanks. In the bottom of the tanks, there's a pipeline that goes to the trough, and the wildlife can get their drinks out of the trough.
The job isn't finished until the crew cleans up its campsite and makes sure no tracks are left behind.
The most satisfying aspect is probably when you're done with it, you know you did something for wildlife, and when you see deer start using it, and it's a great feeling.
Building a water catchment is a lot of hard work, but the payoff is worth it. Because where there's water, there's wildlife.
Want a great outdoor family experience? Then remember the Arizona Game and Fish Expo in March here at the Ben Avery Shooting Range. I'm Brisa Daniel. Get out there and enjoy the Arizona wildlife views.
To subscribe to Arizona Wildlife Views magazine, which includes the Arizona Wildlife Views calendar, call 1-800-777-0015 or visit www.azgfd.gov/magazine.